It had been a quiet day. Orbie found out that if you flip the pages of a flip book really fast, it looks like the characters are walking. Katie found out that if you color with all the crayons on the same spot, it turns out to be the color of mud. And they both discovered that they were good guessers at what word started with the letter A. Katie and Orbie had finished their baths and were all set for bed. Mom was just turning out the lights when Katie pointed out that there was an empty place on the end of her bed. That was where Chance always slept. Dad hurried downstairs to call Chance in. Chance didn't come. Dad went out on the front lawn and called Chance again. Nothing. Up in the bedroom, Mom told Katie that she could get started on sleeping while she waited for Chance. Chance was probably busy playing with her friends and would come soon. Katie didn't want to go to sleep without Chance, but she did. When Dad came in, Mom was surprised to see that Chance wasn't with him. She always came when Dad called. A few minutes later, Mom went to the door and looked to see if Chance was there, but she wasn't. That was when Dad put on his coat and his shoes and set out to find Chance. The night was dark, and Dad hoped that if Chance was going to cross the street, she'd remember to look both ways. The cars would have a hard time seeing her. He walked along the sidewalk, and every few steps he'd call her name and look under a bush. Dad remembered how Chance loved to hide in the bush, and every time someone walked by, she would jump out on their toes. Dad really wished she would do that right now. Mom looked out the window. Chance would be hungry when she got home. Mom took some of her treats and poured them into Chance's empty bowl. Mom remembered that when Chance was just a little kitten, she was so excited to have her treats that she jumped right into the bowl to eat them. Mom sighed. She wished that Chance would come home now so they would all be together. Orbie was sleeping in the closet. He was dreaming about the first time Chance saw snow. She put one foot in and then shook it off, and she put the other foot in and shook it off. And then she raised her tail straight up in the air and ran around the yard. Katie and Orbie had laughed. They thought Chance was very funny. In bed, Katie stretched her toes down to slide them under Chance. Chance always kept Katie's toes nice and warm. When Katie didn't find anything at the end of her bed, she got up. Maybe Chance was sleeping on the living room chair. Katie crept down the stairs. When she looked at the chair and there was no Chance, Katie began to worry. She found Mom and Dad sitting on the front steps. They were starting to worry too. Dad told Katie that all they could do was wait. If she could, Chance would come home. Katie felt very lonely without Chance, and she began to cry. Dad asked her not to worry. Sometimes cats do this. They go off on a little adventure of their own. The next morning, the whole family looked for Chance. Even Mrs. Perrette and Yi Ping got in on the hunt. But I have to tell you that as hard as they looked, there was no Chance anywhere. Nobody at Katie's house was happy. Then the morning after that, the whole family was sitting around the breakfast table. Mom bit her lip a lot. Dad seemed tired. Katie didn't want to have any fun that day until Chance got home. Orbie looked at his favorite breakfast, space flakes, and didn't even eat a single one. Everybody was sad. Mom looked at the clock. It was 9 o'clock. They could finally go to the animal shelter and see if Chance had been picked up. In the car, Orbie honked that he was sure Chance would be there. Mom agreed. Dad said he hoped so. But Katie had a sad feeling that she wasn't. The man who ran the shelter was glad to see them. They described Chance, and he said there might be one cat there that fits that description. Mom smiled. Orbie twirled on his heel, and Dad said, "I hope so." Katie didn't say anything because Katie still had the feeling that Chance just wasn't at the shelter. As they looked in all the cages, Orbie burbled about making a new toy to cheer her up. Mom thought she'd give her liver for dinner. It was her favorite. But by the last cage, they realized that Chance just wasn't there. The drive home was quiet, but I have to tell you that a very peculiar thing was happening inside of Katie. Katie didn't feel sad anymore. Katie started to imagine that Chance was waiting on the windowsill. She started to imagine that Chance had come home all by herself. She asked Dad to hurry up and get home. But with driving, you can only go so fast. Katie had to wait. As they drove along the street of the house, Katie strained to see if there would be a little orange cat sitting on the windowsill the way Chance liked to do. She couldn't really see much from the back seat. In the driveway, everybody shook their heads. No Chance. Katie was just so sure that she would be there. Mom and Dad and Orbie didn't hurry to get out of the car. Just as she passed the bush at the front of the house, something jumped on her toes, and I'll just bet you know who it was. Katie scooped her up and held her close. She told Chance that she had worried about her all night and that she was so happy to have her home. Mom and Dad and Orbie hurried from the car. Orbie flipped and honked and cartwheeled to show Chance how happy he was. Dad could tell that Chance was hungry, and so they all took her inside. She was. All the time that Chance was out, she was thinking of one of Mom's treats. When she slept under a bush, she thought of Katie's nice warm bed. And do you know that even though her adventure away from home had been fun, she didn't really want to be anywhere else. And I don't know about you, but neither do I.